The third issue is that we have to better qualify the people that we talk to.
Really? Qualify meaning?
Well, there's a lot of misinformation. The buyer and sellers, the markets have shifted. They're not totally, the media rarely ever tells a complete story in any single story.
Yep.
So what you end up getting is buyers and sellers that have partial information. They have headline knowledge.
Yeah.
They have 1 minute headline news information, and they've gotten bits and pieces and tried to piece that into some sort of perspective on the market.
Yep.
That's not real.
So we don't know where they're coming from. We
No.
don't know what. What is it we
Well,
need
they
to
don't know
find?
them.
What do we need to find out about them?
Well, we have to find out if they're ready, willing, and able.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to find out if they want to do it, if they can do it, and they're ready to do it now.
Okay.
Right. We have to find out if all that is possible for the seller or the buyer.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with the seller, it used to be, do you want to sell your home? Now it's, do you want to sell your home, and what's your loan balance?
What's your loan balance? Can you?
Yeah, we have
can
a lot.
you sell it? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
can
point.
right.
Yeah.
Well, can you sell it
Can you afford to?
without financial intervention?
There you go.
Yeah, and that's called short sales, and it's called a whole, workouts,
Right.
creative financing.
Yeah.
It's called all those other things that try to make that work.
And then readiness is really about, are you serious about selling? In other words, is there a real reason that you need to sell? You've
right.
moved, you got to, okay.
Yeah. And are you willing to do it?
Which means now.
Yeah. The other issue then we have is on the seller side is we have price and terms. So once we're visiting with a seller and they're ready, willing, and able, right? They want to sell their home and they're ready to do it and they're willing to do it, right? They're ready to go. Then it's going to be price and it's going to be terms.
I heard price
Just
a lot.
one
What do
side.
you mean by terms?
Well, first price, we have to price it to the market, and and that's tough to do in a market where prices could be declining.
Yeah, and
because,
expectations are that people sold
you're
for more before.
Well, we typically use sold prices as our comps.
Yes.
Now we have to use for sale prices because the sold prices are behind the market, not ahead of it.
Now we're really looking at comps in the sense of not comparables, but competition.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great way to say
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Right. In terms is if we have to bring terms to it, if we have to be creative financing to it, we may have to do that. We may have to do that. We may
as a seller, make an offer that makes it easier for someone to buy.
We may have to get the banks to be creative, or the bank who's holding the note, or another bank, or an investor who invests in seconds or creative financing, or the seller themselves.
Yes.
Someone may have to be involved in a little more creative ways of doing that.
It's interesting, Gary, just as an aside, that was something you were very familiar with in the early 80s, wasn't it?
Oh, that's all we talked
Creative
about.
financing.
That's all we talked about.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
But those seminars,
for about 2 years.
Those seminars haven't been around for 15 years.
Haven't needed them. The books have gone out of print. The books have gone out of print. The seminars have gone away. Didn't need them. Interest rates were low. Income was in great equilibrium with pricing, and here we go. Yeah. By the way, that's all coming back now. Yeah. Price/terms is now going to be the phraseology of all real estate agents in all markets for the next 3 to 5 years. The other issue we also have is we have condition and staging. And that is, so the other side of the seller issue is what's the condition of your property, and then how are we going to present it the most effective to the public? You're going to have to be competitive. And now, by the way,
because sometimes I might have to put some money into repairs.
Maybe.
And staging just to get it sold. Well, not even related to the price, just to get it looked at.
Here's the issue: is when 80 or 90% of the listings were selling, or 70, whatever it was in your market, you had a lot more playroom, headroom, if you will, on the condition of your property. Okay. Now, by the way, if only 20% are selling, if inventory is doubled, tripled, quadrupled up, whatever the number might be in your market, and now the lower percent is selling, you're going to have to be in that percent in terms of price, terms, condition, and presenting of the property, or you're not going to be in the game.
Yeah, you're not even in the game.
You're not You're not in the game. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So you're going to have to become an expert on what is the condition that's going to make the property really be appealing, and then how are we going to have to stage it in terms of how it looks, in terms of the decisions we make on furniture and lighting and draping and anything like painting or whatever. Yeah. All those things is really going to matter. Yeah. On the buyer side, the issue we run into is are they feeling a sense of urgency?
Okay.
The issue,
so they may be qualified, that they can, and even they're ready and maybe even willing. They want to do it now, but they also may be backed off for some reason.
Yeah, they're ready, willing, and able with this caveat. Yeah. They feel no sense of urgency.
I got you.
They were in yesterday's market. Ready, willing, and able is all they needed to be.
Yes.
And they felt a sense of urgency because they thought prices were going up.
Yeah.
Right, and houses were selling.
Well, yeah, right. They were just
now they're afraid of overpaying.
Yes.
Now they're afraid that
maybe the market will go down further. Have we reached the bottom yet? They might say, right?
Yeah. You know what my experience is you can't time markets, and that they're.
What happens when you try?
You always mistime it. You're on the wrong side of it.
I gotcha.
And so at the end of the day, timing finds you just stay there. If you find the house that you want, and you intend to live there for at least 5 to 7 years, which is the average person, the average length of time that people stay in a home is 5 to 7 years, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So don't panic. I look at people and say, look, the average person in North America stays in their home between 5 and 7 years. By the way, we can look out 5 to 7 years and realize the markets will, and again, I don't want to be a predictor, so I apologize for saying this, but I think you can say, looking back into history, that there's all reasonable expectation
that affordability will catch up by then and things will be fine. The other thing I think, Gary, is that people need to realize that homes that are well priced and are what we'll call best buys right now, they go like that.
That's right.
So even I can wait, but what I'm waiting for is what's left.
That's right.
And really, as a buyer, I need to understand there's best buys out there right now.
2 markets.
Okay.
There's 2 markets, aren't there?
Yeah.
You and I have this discussion all the time.
Yeah.
So the first one is the one you just mentioned.
Yeah. Well, you're in the market.
Yeah.
That's the ones that are selling, even being shown, getting multiple
offers.
That's
the market that's moving.
Yeah. And then there's everything else, which is sort of out of the market.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So if you're a buyer and you want to buy the best property, there's always buyers for that property.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You think you're going to steal one that no one else is looking at?
No way.
Oh, no way.
There's too many people looking.
Oh, no. We've seen in really tough markets where people are getting above asking price on the best properties. We saw this with HUD back in the 90s where HUD actually discovered the strategy.
Yes.
Instead of pricing the property correctly, they would price it lower.
Just underneath.
Oh, yeah, they would price it lower than the market and create a buying frenzy on the property.
Wow.
And that's actually how the market's turned around, Dave, is people started underpricing, making sure the property was priced properly, dropping then the price just a hair below that. And so that people looked up and said, hey, that's a good price for the market. Yeah, absolutely. And all of a sudden we have multiple bids.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah. In the 90s, if you couldn't spell HUD, you didn't sell real estate in Austin, Texas. And there were guys who made a living running courier services between all the real estate offices in Austin and the bidding offices in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And I mean, they would come by and get all the bids and everything, and off you go. And it was the most amazing thing that was going on.
Wow.
And they discovered that you didn't, in order to get the property sold at the best price possible, you didn't price it at what you actually wanted to get. You priced it at where people all of a sudden went, that's a good deal, and you created a frenzy. It was just an interesting thing.
Yeah, well, I suppose you can create urgency too with sellers. I mean, the point is you can let the area know the home's coming on the market in a week or 2 weeks. But you can't look at it now. You can't make an offer now. It's not going to be, and then that kind of builds that sense of urgency. So building urgency in a market like this is important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That was awesome, guys.
Here's the final word on this, Dave, and that is the market is the market. Your strategy has to be in tune with the market. You have to adjust the things that we've discussed in this session. You have to adjust or you will be out of the market. Yeah. And then you have your mindset. And the truth of the matter is it's a great time to be in real estate. People need to buy and sell real estate. And one of the things, last comment, in the last 7 to 10 years, this frenzy of buying has kind of hidden the fact that the underlying reason that people buy housing all along has been pride of ownership, pride of control. Buy the house, pay it off. By the way, that was the strategy. You buy the house, you live in it, you pay it off, and then either A, if your retirement plan worked out well, you stayed in the home and all you had to pay was insurance, taxes, and maintenance. And if your retirement plan didn't go well, you sold the house and
that equity,
and it was forced savings, and you took the equity and you lived off of it.
There you go.
And that was the whole point of owning the house. People have turned
that hasn't gone away, has it, Gary?
Oh no, Dave, it's
still
fundamental.
True.
It's still fundamental. The thing that shifted was that people started treating it like a blue chip stock.
Yeah.
And they drove the prices up on speculation just the way they could drive up any stock, whether it was a good buy or not. You could have a frenzy driving it up where you have 4,000 times earnings. Well, that's a ridiculous. And that
why would you buy that?
Well, and those stock prices drop, and everybody that has equity in it loses their equity. The stock market, people that buy and sell in the stock market lose equity every day, Dave.
Yes,
every day. Okay? Now, in the real estate business, that's fixing to happen. But it doesn't happen every day.
Right.
It goes in long cycles where they do and they don't, they do and they don't. Stock market didn't like that, didn't it?
No.
So why would we be shocked that we now have situations where people will lose equity? When in their other investments...
We really shouldn't be.
You should not be.
They were just so used to this long-range ramp-up that they forgot that was how it worked.
Yeah. Bottom line advice is go make your market. Go build your career. Be smart and savvy about it. Understand that you may have a lag time where this year may not be your greatest year, but if you stay diligent to what we've talked about today, you will come roaring back, and you will be just fine, and you will be awesome in your career.
There you go. Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. This has been Get Amped with Gary Keller.